Hey friends, welcome back to Hot News. We're going to go over some tech news today. We've got that, but don't forget that as always, sources and timestamps are down below in the description of the video for you to go to the article or the topic that matters to you most. And what matters to me most right now is today's video sponsor. So let's talk about them. Hey friends, today's brought to you by data breach, security vulnerabilities, I can't watch Netflix in my country the way I want to. Wait, no, it's not. Today's episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN. They're sponsoring today's video, and they help you deal with all of that. Whether it's your ISP tracking you on the internet, a virtual private network protects you against that. Whether it's trying to relocate your IP address to somewhere across the world so that you can watch different content, or in the case of like things that are put on YouTube, you can get around geo restrictions. Not just YouTube, but a whole host of other places. We use VPNs all the time to make sure that we're getting the content that we want. Reece, how much do you miss South African Netflix?
A lot.
Yes. So, there you go. And then they also make sure that you are protected from nefarious things like unsecured Wi-Fi networks, unsecured everything. As long as you got a VPN, you're more secure than you would have been without it. Some key reasons to use ExpressVPN include the fastest speeds, consistently faster than any other VPN provider out there, 24/7 customer support, which means your questions can be answered in seconds, not hours. It's very easy to use. You can just connect with one click. It's trusted server technology, and it's a top-rated VPN provider by a whole host of various different sources. It's like the internet goes through a giant tube called ExpressVPN. Your internet goes through another tube. It's like a internet condom. Don't practice unsafe browsing, okay? Just don't do it. So check out ExpressVPN at the link in the description, expressvpn.com/UFD. You can find out how you can get 3 months free by clicking the link at the video description. 3 months for free by clicking it. Go find out. Do it. But let's start off with the news that you came here for, which is, it appears that Ryzen 4000, a new report coming out that Ryzen 4000 is almost ready to come out. This is in stark contrast to the tons of other reports that we've been hearing that Ryzen 4000 was going to be delayed for a myriad of different reasons, whether it be the fact that Ryzen 3000 is selling way too well, or AMD is going to be delaying it to get onto 5 nanometers, or various impacts are causing backups at TSMC. No, my friends, according to the latest report out of Igor's lab saying that the CPUs are undergoing the normal validation process with B0 stepping happening right now, which is basically the last test that it's needed before they go into mass production, which takes about 3 to 4 months when it comes to ordering from TSMC and making sure that it goes out into the wild. And 3 to 4 months from July, which today's the day before July, would mean that we're looking at an October to November timeframe. This also kind of lines up with when we're expecting RDNA 2 to launch, and lines up with all of the other reports that we're hearing early November to get the new Ryzen 4000 CPUs as well as the RDNA 2 GPUs. Could mean that everybody's building a new PC for Christmas. I can see Santa bringing you a few things unless you've been naughty, in which case you just have to get it from Naughty Santa. Who is Naughty Santa? That's...
No! God, please, no!
But that's not the only little bit of AMD news we have. Microsoft recently introduced hardware scheduling into their May 2020 update for Windows 10, and NVIDIA has already taken advantage of that with their latest driver update. Well, now AMD is doing the same. Hardware scheduling when it comes to GPUs allows things to be done more efficiently and making sure that the GPUs are getting to the tasks that they want to ahead of time. It's something that the GPUs have been capable of for a long time, but now the operating system actually physically supports it. And unfortunately, my brain can't support any more GPU names. I just can't keep up with how many there are out there. The 1650, 1650 Super, 1650 Ti. What is going on? Well, there's a new 1650 Ultra. This is not an official card out of NVIDIA, but it is a card from Galax where they are using the RTX 2070 core to make a GTX 1650. According to reports, it's essentially the exact same as the GTX 1650, just on a cut down version of an RTX 2070. And the main difference here is that it now has a 15-watt TDP increase over the original TU117 model. So it's 61% less cores than a 2070, and it's a bit more spicy than a normal 1650. What do we call it? 1650 Ultra. Yay. I'm ultra done with this bullcrap. And your PC might be ultra done when it comes to Crysis Remastered. The official gameplay premiere is happening on July 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can see here that the YouTube channel is ready to premiere in 39 hours as of recording, which means that your PCs are just going to weep tears of sweet regret knowing that they could never be as good as they once were. Crysis Remastered now coming into your hearts, and coming out of your wallets is going to be money in case you want to buy the next gen consoles. Well, there's more reports of PlayStation 5 pricing, and you can take this with whatever size salt grain you want, and it is now that the PlayStation 5 will go for a normal price of €500, and the discless edition would be only €400, which I believe is too cheap. However, I would be more than happy with that price. I would buy the full one at €500 if that translates to $500. I would absolutely do that. Let me know what you think of these pricing. It's just so many retailers have posted so many different pricings. We've heard from $400 for the full thing up to $1,000. So until Sony officially announces it, or some major retailer like Amazon has it listed with images and is ready to go at the pre-order date, I'm going to wait with bated breath on this. And you have probably been waiting with bated breath for Intel to get their act together and finally start releasing CPUs that are worthwhile in the mainstream desktop space. And then number two, don't require a new motherboard update every 2 years. We almost had that from AMD where we required it every 3 years, but that's not the case anymore. Well, there's a new Intel slide that has come out confirming that we only get 2 generations of LGA 1200, and then we are on LGA 1700. Yes, my friends, there will be 500 more pins on the next gen CPU socket, 41% increase. For what reason, we don't know. It could be that Alder Lake, which is what LGA 1700 is supposed to be for, will feature big and little cores, so it needs more complex communication. We'll find out. But while Intel's not giving us the motherboard support that we want, AMD didn't give us the motherboard support that we were kind of looking for. B550 wasn't supposed to support older chips. Well, now it turns out that there are people out there running it on Pinnacle Ridge and Picasso CPUs. You can see here that a 2600X is running on the B550, as well as a Ryzen 5 Picasso 3400G, which wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. So what was AMD going to do about that? I don't know. You can play games with it, potentially. Don't necessarily confirm that if you buy a B550, it's going to work with your older chips, but you might risk it for the biscuit. Find out. And Tencent's risking hardly anything. They are launching their new live streaming platform known as Trovo Live. It's originally called Mad Cat, and now it's supposed to be launching. People have been streaming there, but they've announced their creator partnership program, which allows you to earn money based on which group you're in. You can see here that they have $4,200 base incentive for the top group of streamers with $840 in bonus. I don't care. Number one, most people don't trust Tencent in the first place, so that likely would lead to not a whole lot of major streamers switching over to this. Number two, we're established on Twitch, which, by the way, if you want to watch Hot News Live, come follow us, twitch.tv/UFDiskipple, and we would love to have you join us for that, so you could do that. But speaking of Twitch, they apparently suspended the account of the United States President Donald Trump, the Amazon-owned company, stating that some of the content that was on the Twitch channel violated their hate speech clauses, specifically saying in its statement to Engadget, hateful conduct is not allowed on Twitch. In line with our policies, President Trump's channel has been issued a temporary suspension from Twitch for comments made on stream, both for the Tulsa rally that aired there recently, as well as a rebroadcast of one of his 2016 campaign ads. What do you think of this? Let me know down below. Keep it civil, folks. Keep it civil. And that is what my wife has been asking me to do for our Google Photos backup. We try to keep all of our photos backed up into one cloud location. We happen to use Google Photos. And unfortunately, it had been automatically backing up the group chat from UFD Tech, which led to terrible, terrible things coming across her eyes. But now, Google Photos will stop doing that. They will stop default uploading from social media, messaging apps, and the like. Obviously, I've turned this off, but my wife saw things such as this. Now, this is a beauty that Reece sent us yesterday. This isn't too gory, but it does look like somebody got a sunburn on their foot and then peeled up the skin pouch and put Gatorade in it, as well as a flower, which is exactly what a normal person would do. So Yeah, my wife doesn't have to see this anymore amongst our pictures of our children. Thanks, Google. And people won't have to be seeing single-use plastics all over the street anymore in India because of Amazon. They have now completely converted over to non-single-use plastics, replacing bubble wrap and air pillows with paper cushions, making it a more sustainable setup and making sure that single-use plastics aren't just being chucked out after a while, which you might want to have done with your Prius. I want to chuck it into a dealership because Toyota is recalling 752,000 Toyota Prius because the hybrid software isn't working, where the hybrid can then fail over to the gas engine in case the electric engine can't keep up, which could force them to stall, especially in any scenario. That's a bad news bears. 267,000 of the Priuses that are being recalled are in the US. You can see here on the screen which one it affects: regular Prius from 2013 to 2015 or the 2014 to 2017 Prius V. But I'm going to recall my hope that Apple isn't going to continue to bleed us dry as a cell phone company. There's a new report coming out from a tech analyst that this year's iPhone will not include earbuds, which I absolutely understand. A vast majority of Apple iPhone purchasers tend to pick up AirPods or use some other external one and not use the Lightning ones that are included. I think that they sit in a lot of boxes, so that makes sense from an environmental perspective as well as a cost-cutting perspective. But only from a cost-cutting perspective does it make sense for them to not include the charger. There will not be a charger included with the next upcoming iPhones, according to one analyst. Obviously, we have no idea if this is true, if Apple's actually going to do this, if any of this is corroborated. They apparently will give you a charging cable, but no little brick doodad. What do you think of that? Buy your own charger. You're going to want to do that. Apparently, this has helped to keep the price lower because they are going to be transitioning to 5G and making sure that they're not including the 18-watt or 20-watt fast chargers into the box would make it so that they don't have to necessarily upcharge for 5G. And I know I just said Apple not upcharging for something, but I'm an optimist. What are you going to do about it? And I'm optimistic that I really want this new Sabrent external 8 terabyte SSD with 2.7 gigabyte read speeds. It supports Thunderbolt 3 and USB. This includes their 8 terabyte consumer grade NVMe SSD, which they just launched, which is $1,500. And you can imagine that the external enclosure would only be slightly more expensive than that. Speaking of Sabrent, we actually have a 4 terabyte drive coming in from them, and I'm very excited for that. I'll make sure to keep you posted on all of that. And the creators of Netflix's Cuphead series have kept us posted. They are posting a little bit of new information with regards to the Cuphead show. In case you want to watch it, I'll leave the link in the video description in case you care at all about the Cuphead series. I know very little about it. Obviously, I know the beloved game, but I haven't been following necessarily along with the animated series traction that's been going on. And I haven't been following along with the Harry Potter RPG traction development that's been going on. I actually didn't even know that was a real thing. Well, according to a new interview that was given in Bloomberg, they are still on track, and they are on track to come out on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X in 2021. It's an RPG set in the Harry Potter universe. You play as some nondescript other person. You're not one of the main characters, so it's a unique story. And in the interview with Bloomberg, they stated that they are very not really involved with J.K. Rowling, so any controversy that's going on with her right now doesn't necessarily affect us. So still, please buy our game. Are you excited for the Harry Potter RPG? Let me know down below in the comments, and let me know how much you love hot news. I'm just curious. On a scale of 1 to 7, where do you rank hot news? Keen to hear from you down below in the comments. That's going to be it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett. You've just been newsed hotly, spicy, moist. Bye.